as the adage says, you give a poor man a fish and you feed him for a day. You teach him to fish, you give him, and
investment is don't lose. And the second rule of investment is don't forget the first rule, and that's all the rules there are. I mean, if you buy things for far below what they're worth and you buy a group of them, you basically don't lose money.
Warren, what do you consider the most important quality for an investment manager?
It's a temperamental quality, not an intellectual quality. You don't need tons of IQ in this business. I mean, you have to have enough IQ to get from here to downtown Omaha, but you do not have to be able to play three-dimensional chess or be in the top leagues in terms of bridge playing or something of the sort. You need a stable personality. You need a temperament that neither derives great pleasure from being with the crowd or against the crowd. Because this is not a business where you take polls, it's a business where you think. And Ben Graham would say that you're not right or wrong because 1,000 people agree with you. And you're not right or wrong because 1,000 people disagree with you. You're right because your facts and your reasoning are right.
Warren, what do you do that's different than 90% of the money managers who are in the market?
Certainly most of the professional investors focus on what the stock is likely to do in the next year or two. And they have all kinds of arcane methods of approaching that. But they do not really think of themselves as owning a piece of a business. The real test of whether you're investing from a value standpoint or not is whether you care whether the stock market is open tomorrow. If you're making a good investment in a security, it shouldn't bother you if they close down the stock market for 5 years. All the ticker tells me is the price. Yeah. And I can look at the price occasionally to see whether the price is outlandishly cheap or outlandishly high. But prices don't tell me anything about a business. Business figures themselves tell me something about a business, but the price of a stock doesn't tell me anything about a business. I would rather value a stock or a business first and not even know the price, so that I'm not influenced by the price in establishing my valuation, and then look at the price later to see whether it's way out of line with what my value is.
So Buffett chose to stay in this world, Omaha, Nebraska, where corn grows just minutes from downtown. Now, Omaha is a nice town, but nobody claims it's a world financial center. Here, the only thundering herd is actually on 4 feet. Don't you find Omaha a little bit off the beaten track for the investment world?
Well, believe it or not, we get mail here, and we get periodicals, and we get all the facts needed to make decisions. And unlike Wall Street, you'll notice we don't have 50 people coming up and whispering in our ear that we should be doing this or that this afternoon.
You appreciate the lack of stimulation here?
I like the lack of stimulation. We get facts, not stimulation here.
How can you stay away from Wall Street?
Well, if I were on Wall Street, I'd probably be a lot poorer. You get overstimulated in Wall Street, and you hear lots of things, and you may shorten your focus, and a short focus is not conducive to long profits. And here I can just focus on what businesses are worth, and I don't need to be in Washington to figure out what the Washington Post newspaper is worth, and I don't need to be in New York to figure out what some other company is worth. It's an intellectual process, and the less static there is in that intellectual process, really the better off you are.
What is the intellectual process?
The intellectual process is defining your level, defining your area of competence in valuing businesses, and then within that area of competence, finding whatever sells at the cheapest price in relation to value. And there are all kinds of things I'm not competent to value, but there are a few that I am competent to value.
Have you ever bought a technology company?
No, I really haven't.
In 30 years of investing, not one?
I haven't understood any of them.
So you haven't ever owned, for example, IBM?
Never owned IBM. Marvelous company. I mean, it's a sensational company, but I haven't owned IBM.
And so here is this technological revolution going on, and you're not going to be a participant.
Gone right past me.
Is that all right with you?
It's okay with me. I don't have to make money in every game. I mean, I don't know what cocoa beans are going to do. There are all kinds of things I don't know about, and that may be too bad. But why should I know all about them? I haven't worked that hard on them. In the securities business, you literally every day have thousands of the major American corporations offered to you at a price that changes daily. And you don't have to make any decisions. You have to make, nothing is forced upon you. So there are no called strikes in the business. The pitcher just stands there and throws balls at you, And if you're playing real baseball and it's between the knees and the shoulders, you either swing or you got a strike called on you. If you get too many called on you, you're out. In the securities business, you sit there and they throw U.S. Steel at 25 and they throw General Motors at 68, and you don't have to swing at any of them. They may be wonderful pitches to swing at, but if you don't know enough, you don't have to swing. And you can sit there and watch thousands of pitches, and finally you get one right there where you want it, something that you understand, and then you swing. And
so you might not swing for 6 months.
You might not swing for 2 years.
Isn't that boring?
It would bore most people, and certainly boredom is a problem with most professional money managers. If they try to sit out an inning or two, not only do they get somewhat antsy, but their clients start yelling, "Swing, you bum!" from the stands, and that's very tough for people to do.
Warren, your approach seems so simple. Why doesn't everybody do it?
Well, I think partly because it is so simple. That the academics, for example, focus on all kinds of variables. Partly because
by academics you mean professors of
right,
finance.
Yeah, the data's there.
In business school.
Sure, and the data's there. So they focus on whether if you buy stocks on Tuesday and sell them on Friday, you're better off, or if you buy them in election years and sell them in other years, you're better off, or if you buy small companies. There are all these variables because the data are there, and they've learned how to manipulate data. And as a friend of mine says, to a man with a hammer, everything looks like a nail. And once you have these skills, you just are dying to utilize them in some way, but they aren't important. If I were being asked to participate in a business opportunity, would it make any difference to me whether I bought it on a Tuesday or a Saturday or an election year or something? It's not what a businessman thinks about in buying businesses. So why think about it when buying stocks? Because stocks are just pieces of business.
Hey, what's going on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram? What's up, guys? How is everybody doing today? Hoping everybody's doing good today. Today is Sunday. It's 5/17/2020. Notice every time I talk about the date, I always gotta check the date because there's so many things happening on so many different dates. So I've always gotta keep in mind. Got my mask here, guys. I'm just in the park as usual. This is one of my favorite places to chill out. Nothing like some peace of mind and rest and relaxation, trust me. Anyway, guys, I've been trying to make a video like this for a long time. This is not too much what stocks to buy tomorrow. It's more about, how I go about trading in the stock markets. What's my motivation and what makes me trade the way I trade. Guys, I wrote down a little thing right here. I'm in the park with my little, my mask and my book and my pencil. So I wrote down this little thing right here. I'm gonna read it for you guys real quick. Now, this is the type of stuff I remember every day that I go to trade in the stock markets, guys. Always remember that daily volatility or volatility, excuse my accent, I am a Jamaican. Daily volatility in the stock market should not distract you, even with uncertainties associated with the state of the world, virus, food, etc. Focus on long-term growth, industries with high prospects, leaders in industries that will forever be in high demand. That's the type of stocks that I look for when I go to trade, unless it's a cigarette butt type of trade. And when I say cigarette butt, you're gonna see what I'm talking about in a little bit. A while ago, I watched a video because guys, let me tell you how I started trading the stock markets. And I made a video about this, but I don't even remember which video it was. I done made so many videos. So I was working at the Home Depot, and one of my supervisors, or he was a store manager at the time, he used to always be in a special corner looking at his phone. And I used to wonder, what are they looking at? And I don't want to speculate, but I used to wonder what they're looking at. So the more I got to know them and whatnot, the closer I got to them, I realized that they were trading the stock market. So I'm like, I didn't know much about the stock markets, but that store manager was a real cool guy, because what happened was he actually kind of, pushed for us to open a 401k when we started working at the Home Depot. And this was probably back in 2011 or 2012. And I did open a 401k, and I put a decent percentage of my check towards it because I understood that it was savings, but also Home Depot, I think they still have this thing where if you work there, they'll match X amount of, whatever you put type of deal. So while I was putting money was being put by Home Depot. So over time, that grew up to be quite a decent amount. Now, I realized that, you know, they were trading the stock markets, but not only that, they were making more money trading the stock markets than doing the job that they were doing at the Home Depot. That was just like, oh, you know, when you tell your wife, oh, I'm going to the office, but the office is actually a bar type of deal. So they will be at the Home Depot working, all right, because they're store managers. So you don't expect them to be doing much more than come out the store every now and again and look around. But that being said, guys, talking to them and looking at what they were doing, I saw them trading the stock markets. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that from that I became the person I am today in the stock markets, because that's not true. I had a lot of losing trades. I did a lot of foolishness in the beginning because I just didn't understand. I used to make trades and I used to watch it. I would just think to myself that the price I'm seeing cannot be the same price as what's really on the stock markets, because I would buy a stock and automatically the thing just went to hell and I'm like, what's going on? But over time, guys, I got better at what I did, real good. I took over my portfolio when it was about $2,500. So what happened was they had a thing with Charles Schwab, and Charles Schwab was the brokerage that dealt with the 401ks and whatnot. And at the time, I don't know if this is still the case, you had the option to take over your portfolio, which I did. And I started trading the stocks that were in my portfolio myself. And made some money, lost some money, but over time I got better. And put some of my own earnings otherwise into it, and I traded and I doubled and tripled and and you know, here I am right now talking to you guys about this stuff. So I've been trading a lot of the stocks I've been trading for years, so I kind of have an idea how they move. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you guys either that I sit down in front of 3 or 4 or 5 monitors every day just to figure out where I'm gonna enter and where I'm gonna exit. I don't look at the stock market like that. I look at each stock individually in a certain type of way. The relationship that it has to the world, and excuse the way I say stuff, but you know, the significance of the stock in the stock markets or in the world, the role that they play. Is it a good stock? Like I asked my friend yesterday, if Monday morning, you know, some big news happened and the world gets worse than it is right now, the stocks that are in your account, would they go up or would they go down? That's the question I asked him. You know, that's what I think about when I think about leaving certain stocks in my account. Are these stocks that are, you know, essential to the time that we're in, or are they just stocks that are companies that are just moving a little bit here and there? So, guys, I like to short trade. I like to get in and out of stocks and my possessions. I do have stocks that I keep in my account for 3 or 4 days because a lot of them have earnings reports or they have news coming up. They have stuff working on that I believe in and I know that's going to happen soon. So that's why they stay in my account for maybe 2 or 3 days. Other than that, I sell them real quick. Or if I buy it and then they have a public offering, which sometimes you just can't avoid. Sometimes they do tell you when they're going to have a public offering, but some companies like to, you know, as soon as the stocks start moving a certain type of way, boom, we're going to have a public offering and it's going to be for 25 cents. And you started trading that stock at $1 and you see it fall down to 25 cents and you're like. But anyway, guys, this is all in DD, due diligence. You got to plan your own plan and trade your own trade. I'm going to try to tell you guys a couple of the scanners that I use. Sorry, it's kind of windy and my mouth is getting dry. I'm going to try to tell you guys a couple of the scanners that I use, and the scanners are, you know, the software that you use to check, to get data, check your data, get information on the stocks that you're going to trade. You could just go ahead and just find a stock on my list and go ahead and trade it without knowing anything. You might be lucky and win some money, or win. It is a win because it's a gamble. You might get lucky and make some money, or you just might lose your whole butt. So keep your Vaseline on hand. If that's how you're gonna trade, then always have a jar of Vaseline with you because you're gonna get it. You gotta look into stuff. You gotta spend money to make money sometimes, all the time. But this is gonna be free, but you know, the scanners, they have free scanners, but to get the best out of a scanner, guys, sometimes it's better to just pay a monthly or yearly or whatever. You'll make the money back. It's worth it to me. Anyways, so some of the scanners that I use, guys, I use the scanner on Yahoo Finance. For me, that is I like it. It's real simple. I'm a very simple person. I don't like too much complicated stuff. Also, they do give you free scanners in Webull and also TD TOS. TD TOS has a very good scanner, so does Webull, but the TD one is a little bit more better than the Webull one, I think. But maybe it's just the platform, the layout of it. But most of my big trades that I do, that I take, is on Webull. So obviously I do like Webull the most. And then I have a margin account and another account with TD Ameritrade. You know, I do a lot of different tradings, different accounts. But anyway, guys, yeah, so Yahoo Finance. I have a little clip that I'm gonna put in here. This video is really not synchronized for the, the talking to be where this and that is. But in this video, you'll see I put a little video here so you guys can see how I use Yahoo Finance to look up certain stocks or look at how the charts move, or the volume behind a stock or information about a stock. It gives you everything pretty much. You can look up just about everything. You can see how many employees they have, what they specialize in, when they started being in business, the 1 year chart, the 5 year chart, the 1 minute movement, 5 minute movement, all that good stuff. And you can still look at that stuff on Webull also, or TD Ameritrade. I'm just saying. Those are a few of the scanners. I also use TipRanks, guys. TIPRANKS. It's another really good piece of software to check your stuff with. I did another little video on that, so you guys could have a look at that. TipRanks, I like that. They give you very good alerts, and their analytics are really good. I have no issues with them. I've been doing this for a long time, and I've been using them for a long time, so it must be doing something good. That's how I see it. So guys, in this video, I'm gonna put a couple of clips from Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett is one of the people that's the most successful in the stock markets, but he doesn't trade the way I trade. Imagine if Warren Buffett traded the way I trade. The world would be, I don't even know what to say. But Warren Buffett is more the kind of person to buy companies and buy stocks and let them sit. He doesn't go and check them every 5 minutes. I mean, truthfully, guys, a lot of times when I buy stocks, because I know the stock is gonna be moving, I'll set up my account in the morning when I do my video. When I put out my list, I'll put in my buy orders and my sell orders with my limits. And I'll go deal with my son, start making breakfast or, homeschooling, whatever the case is. And while I'm doing that, I'll go and periodically check on my account to see how much movement is happening, blah, blah, blah. But it's not something that I sit there every day and I look at and I need 10 different monitors to look at it. That's a whole different story. I'm not saying that anything is wrong with that, but I just don't deal with it like that. A lot of my trades happen early in the morning, around 9:30 or 7:30, 8 o'clock, because I do trade the pre-markets, but that's another story. That's a whole other account that I'm not going to show you guys right now. But yeah, I do trade the pre-markets. So during the daytime, though, a lot of my trades happen between 9:30 and I'll say about 10, 11. Sometimes I'll mess around with it until about 12 o'clock. But if there's money to be made, there's money to be made. I have alerts set up with the stocks that I'm trading. So at whatever time in the day there's volume behind it, I'll be right behind it. Anytime there is volume, I'll get a message on my phone because I have alerts set up, so I'll know what's going on, and then I'll make a decision if I want to sell or buy or whatever the case is, unless I have my limits. Guys, limits. I cannot stress that enough. If you're going to leave something in your account, put a limit, sell or buy on it. So just in case, because a lot of times the stock moves so fast, you might want to sell it at $5, and by the time you get that message on your phone that, oh, that stock got to $5, by the time you log into your account and you realize what's going on, it's back down to $2. Like, you have stocks that move that quick. So a good thing to do is to put a limit on there and a good until like a GTC, I think it is. That's over time. It won't just be for that one day. That's what I do with a lot of the stocks that are in my account. So let's move on. A couple of the things I like about the scanners that I mentioned, guys. They give you news, they give you good analytics, they give you press releases, they give you the financials for the companies, they give you charts, and they give you options, information, all that stuff. And if you get a Webull account, and I always say this, if you get a Webull account under the link in the description of this video, they're gonna give you 2 free stocks, or it might be more than that by now. And they give me 2 free stocks, and it's a pretty good promotion. I really like Webull. I signed up for Webull quite some time ago, and I haven't had any issues. Like sometimes you get stuck with some other platforms I don't want to mention, but I like Webull. It's a good platform for me. No issues there. And just like I'm looking at my screen right now, they're sending me information about what's going on in the world as far as the news and stuff like that. So I'm updated throughout the weekend. Going into tomorrow, I already have an idea what I think the markets are going to be doing. But you guys can check that out tomorrow morning in my morning video when I do my fire list. I do that every day, 5 days a week. It's free. If you guys have any questions or comments, you can hit me up and I'll try to get back to you guys as soon as I can. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to talk about today. Now, the cigarette butt thing that Mr. Warren Buffett talked about is a real crazy idea, right? And it's not that crazy, guys. I don't know if where you live, but in New York and some other places I've been to, you do see people do that. They do pick up a cigarette butt that has a pull or two left in it, because it does have a pull or two left in it, but it's nasty. But it's nasty because, you know, other people been messing with it. But some stocks are like that. And I'm going to tell you, they're nasty and they'll mess you up real quick. For instance, SHIP, and another one, TOPS. That's a stock that's been screwing people since I don't even know how long. Go look them up and look at their charts, how much they were a year ago, 5 years ago, and how much it fell down to. Now, I'm the kind of person that I know about that stock, and I know that it's a messed up stock, but that doesn't mean it's not going to move. That's just one of those stocks I'm not going to buy and let it sit in my account and do foolishness, unless I know I could tolerate that risk. But even on stock like those, guys, there are opportunities to make money on a stock like that. You could pick it up for that low price and sell it back for 5 cents or 10 cents on whatever you bought it for. Depending on how many shares you bought, you're going to make money on it. So it all depends on your views on the stock markets. That's how a lot of my trades are with most of these companies that I buy. I try to find good companies, X amount of employees. I like to look at their earnings reports. I like to look at how much cash they have on hand. I like to look at how much money they've made in their last couple of earnings reports. I like to look at what the future looks like for this company and where do I think that they're going to stand in the world in the next, you know, where they're going to be as far as being in the world. Are they going to be a part of this world in the next couple of years? So if I check out all of that stuff and all those boxes are checked, and it's a go for that company, then I'm going to look at how much that company has been traded for the past, I don't know, I'll probably go back 6 months sometimes and see, because you could, guys, what happened in the stock market 6 months ago may never happen again, but a lot of times it's a good idea to know what was going on, because like Mr. Buffett also said, if it's an election year, that could have a big impact on the company, depending on the company. If it's an election year, if we had bad droughts and bad storms or whatever the case, all of that stuff has impacts on the prices of stocks. So depending on the type of trader you are, if you're somebody that's going to buy a stock long term, like, you know, you buy a stock like, let's say, Domino's Pizza, and you leave that in your account for a couple of years, that's going to go up. People are going to be eating pizza for a long time. You know, I don't see that changing too much, and I don't see too many other companies coming in and taking over the pizza business. Different than what's going on right now. And like Mr. Buffett said, Coca-Cola or Pepsi, people are going to be drinking those for a long time. People are hooked to those things. Like, you know, it's like having a cigarette. So do your own plan, your own research, make your own trades. I'm always just here to say, guys, this is what's going on. Pay attention to this. This is what might be coming up next. That's what I'm here for. And I don't mind answering questions or whatnot if I can answer them. If I know what is going on, if I have information, I have no problem sharing that with you guys. Guys, keep in mind too, like I always said, or like I'm saying, I have an Instagram, a Facebook, and a Twitter account. So maybe you're having a bad day or whatever, you could go on the Facebook account, and I'm pretty sure that will cheer up your day. Some very nice people on Facebook, guys. Instagram and Twitter, but you know, Facebook is where you go to relax. Jamaica Stock Trader, that's the name of all of my accounts, guys. Same thing on Gmail or Yahoo if you want to send me an email. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to talk about today. Mostly, you know, the trades that I took Friday on SRNE. That was one of the craziest days I've had in a long time. It's not the first time I've done something like that. It won't be the last time I've done something like that. I trade on volume. If there is volume behind the stocks, I'll have no problems trading 30,000, 40,000, putting 200,000 on the line. I don't have any issues with that because I'm not waiting for it to give me $1 million. I'm just taking a little bit of profits and I'm out. That's it. You don't have to be greedy. If you were trading on a smaller account, guys, let's say you were trading SRNE on a smaller account with like $1,000 and you bought, you know, I don't know, let's say you bought 100 shares at $4.28 or $4.48 a share, or let's say I bought that stock at $4.28 a share. I don't have to I wouldn't sit there and wait for it to go up to $10 and change. I just want to make some profits. Knowing that that company is involved in finding some type of vaccine for the coronavirus and the news that they released, I'm gonna be looking for, you know, $1.50 to $2, and that might not happen within the first 30 minutes of the market opening. The market likes to do what a lot of people like to call the shake, pop, or the shake, drop, shake, and boom. That's what they call it. The drop, the shake, and then the boom. So what happens is the markets will open. The stock price will go down. Now, fear is one of the biggest motivations in the stock markets. Keep that in mind. I don't know why this thing makes me look so big, man. But anyway, fear is one of the biggest motivations in the stock market. So I say that to say, let's say the stock market's open and you were having this stock in your account for $4.48 a share. And you're waiting for the stock to go up because it has good news. It's a good company. They just had news that they've made a vaccine, blah, blah, blah. But what happens? The stock starts going down. It goes down by 50 cents and you're holding X amount of shares and your profits just got cut in like half. And then you start panicking. You know what? You're like, you know what? Let me get out of this. Let me sell this before I lose my whole butt. That's how you lose your money right there. That's what we call the drop, shake, and pop. So the stock, and this does not always happen, but it happens enough time for me to tell you guys. It will drop, and then what will happen is it will shake. When we say shake, we mean the people that were holding the stock that's not too, you know, sure about it will sell them. They'll get rid of them, and then people like me will buy them, and the stock is gonna pop. I mean, it was gonna pop regardless, but it's gonna pop. It's gonna go up. It's gonna do what it wanted to do now because you done got rid of the low. Oh, sorry. They got all type of things running around over here. They got rid of the people that didn't want to be in there in the first place, and then people like me that's just looking for a couple of dollars will go in there, buy it up, and sell it while it's moving up. That's one of the reasons why I say I don't really trade for the first, you know, maybe 5, 10, 15 minutes of the market's opening, unless it's a stock that I'm sure about. If I'm sure about it, I'll probably buy it in the pre-markets and the aftermarkets. If I'm that sure that they're going to have a good earnings report, they got good news, or whatever the case is, I'll buy it right away, no problem. But unless it's a stock like that, then I'll wait. Let the markets open, let it do the movements it's going to do, and then I'll get into it, you know, at a certain price. That's one of the reasons why I bought SRNE at the price I bought it for. I saw it moving, but before I invest X amount of money on it, I want to make sure it's going to be going up, up, up. So I'll let it go up, come down, and then I'll see the pattern where it's going to go, and then I'll get in on it, make my money, and then I'll get out of it. I did that about 4 or 5 times on that stock. And the craziest thing is the most money that I've made on a single trade on that stock is still in the markets. I didn't sell those yet. And I didn't do that purposely. What happened was, in the morning, after I did the video and I got the alert on my phone, the same time I had the tablet in my hand. So I put the order in on my tablet first. Then I went to my phone because I have 3 different accounts set up that I trade with that's linked to my phone. So I made some trades on my phone. Then I went back to the tablet, looked at it, said, you know what, being that I made enough money on it, trading it in the phone accounts, I'm gonna let this one ride. But I totally forgot. If I had remembered, I would have sold it when it was way up, but I forgot. But regardless of all that, it's still sitting at $76,000 right now. 30,000 shares. I bought it at $4.48. I'm very sure though, Monday, tomorrow, I'm expecting it to go up a little bit more. Even if it doesn't go up a little bit more, I'm going to put to make sure I don't lose everything. I'm going to keep some of my profits, damn it. So that's a good thing. I made X amount of money this week, and I'll always say X because I don't really like to share my accounts. That's getting too personal, guys. Come on. I'll put the pictures up here of what I'm trading with these accounts, but, you know, I got ants and everything going on. Anyway, guys, I'll try to get into more details in another video. Today is Sunday. I'm actually out here because I'm going to get some stuff to plant. I like planting. I like gardening. That's, you know, I do that while the stock market is being traded most of the time. Shit. Excuse me. Anyway, guys, I'll catch you guys later going into in the morning when I do my morning, you know, fire stocks and all that good stuff. I hope that you got some information from this. If you have any questions, send me a message. send me an email, whatever the case is. I'll try to get back to you guys as soon as I can. I'm trying to share information with everybody that wants to learn. Guys, this is one of the best ways to make the most money that you can make right now sitting at home in your couch. $100, $200, whatever you want to try with, start with, try it. You know, have some faith in yourself. Get some of this money back that you've been losing. That stimulus money that you guys got, I haven't even looked into that yet. But the stimulus money that you guys got, you should really put $100 of it into the stock markets. And keep in mind, guys, you could buy some of these stocks on on Cash App. And you don't have to buy the whole stock, but you could buy the whole stock, but you don't have to. Like something like Tesla, you could put $20 in Tesla. You could put $20 in ABT. You could put $20 in Domino's Pizza. You could put $20 in CLX, Clorox bleach. Like there are so many companies. You could put $20 in Chipotle, CMG. So many different stocks, guys. And if you want to buy the whole thing, you could just buy the whole thing too. But instead of spending all your money on foolishness, invest some of your money and make some money. Let your money work for you, guys. That's what you guys gotta learn. You gotta make your money work for you. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching the video. Remember, plan your own plan and trade your own trade. Any questions or comments or whatever, just hit me up and I'll try to get back to you guys as soon as I can. I'm about to get out of here. Time to hit the road. I gotta go get some stuff for my garden and set it up and whatnot. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the morning. Peace.